insulin action. Okay, so these were the few spices and herbs. And coming towards the end, now we'll discuss what are the supplementation that will help us to maintain this blood glucose level. Okay, so first the PDO foundation is already there. Okay, so I'm not talking much about foundation, because now at this point we know that why it is important to add in diabetes, why it is important to add in other conditions. We'll be talking majorly that is designed to take care of the blood, promotes the normal lipid metabolism by reducing the fat absorption at the intestinal level. Okay, Shunti again has anti-inflammatory property, and the cinnamon again imitates insulin-like effect. So that's why it is a very good combination of three herbs which helps with the blood glucose level. Next will be your ashwagandha. Ashwagandha basically, yeah, so ashwagandha basically helps again to improve the insulin sensitivity. Now, what is insulin sensitivity actually? Insulin sensitivity is the cell's response where in very less amount of insulin also the cell will respond to the glucose. That is insulin sensitivity. Okay, so it basically helps in the insulin sensitivity, and it acts as a anti-stressor also. And stress again is one of the additional facts related to your diabetes. So it acts as an anti-stressor also. It has anti-inflammatory properties also, right? So that way ashwagandha helps. Okay. Third is your fiber. Now we all know fiber is very, very important. Again, we go for high fiber diet also, and we do have a supplement which is a fiber. Okay, so fiber basically what it does, it basically slows down the blood sugar absorption. It basically slows down the blood sugar absorption, and further it helps in reducing the cholesterol, right? It also improves the gut health, so that the nutrient secretion is happening, nutrient absorption is happening properly, and the insulin secretion is also happening properly. So that way the fiber is helping you. Natural B, natural B is also one of the very important supplements to be added in diabetic patients. Why? Because definitely we all know that it improves your metabolism. It also helps down your glucose, and it facilitates the cell to use it as energy. It improves that effectiveness. Okay, and it also important for the healthy nervous system, right? Because we all know that diabetes also somewhere affects your nervous systems also. And it also is important to maintain healthy B12 levels in the diabetic patients. So for a way it is helping you, and overall also natural B addition will all is always a good idea to add it in the this healthy blood glucose supplements. Okay, and then comes the combination of three, our very own, our very favorite: protein, daily, and omega. Protein, we all know it increases your satiety, it aids weight loss, and it improves the blood glucose control, right? Because it doesn't affect insulin much. See what happens when diabetes is happening, when we go to doctors, they keep on giving insulin, which makes the pancreas more tired. What we can do is by controlling our diet, by making it more plant protein based, by making it more fiber rich, we can actually reduce the load on the pancreas, right? So giving more insulin is not the idea. Making it making the pancreas, putting it rest is important, right? So that's why we can actually make it work by taking good care of your diet and lifestyle. Okay, daily again is there are certain minerals which are very, very important for the storage, production, and secretion of insulin. Your zinc is important for the production. Your it also helps in the wound healing. Your chromium is important because it helps with the it increases the insulin receptors. Okay, so chromium has a role in increasing the insulin receptors. Your potassium is important for the signaling, right? So all these minerals are important, which is there in daily. And omega again has a role in insulin sensitivity. It reduces the inflammation, right? And it also helps in other complications related to diabetes, right? And it also again apart from these, you can further add natural C and tulsi also, because tulsi will help with the fighting with the infection, and natural C will help with the wound healing, and also again fighting with the infection. So I think this was all from my side. I hope I was able to cover up all the points clearly. And let's move on to the questions now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Sapna. There are some questions People want you to repeat what is that ABC. Actually, उसी time आया था question. Actually,
HbA1c, right? HbA1c, right?
नहीं, I think in the complications.
ABC, right.
Yeah, ABC.
Complications may ABC. So
Yeah.
whenever you want to reduce the risk on your heart, you have to follow three rules A, B, C. A stands for HbA1c, right? So you have to always monitor your blood sugar levels, your HbA1c levels. It should always be below 7%. Okay. The B is your blood pressure. Your blood pressure should not go above 130 by 80. You should always be able to maintain below 130 by 80, because when your blood pressure is happening more, you tend to take more diuretics. It goes out to maintain the blood pressure. More urination happens. More urination happens, your sodium potassium gets lost, right? And potassium is important for insulin signaling. Okay, potassium is important for insulin signaling, and that's why your blood pressure should be lesser by 130 by 80, and your cholesterol should always be your, especially the bad cholesterol, the LDL level should always be lesser than 100 milligram per deciliter. That was ABC.
Okay. Um.
Yeah, so we'll see if there are any questions.
Yes, you definitely can take all these supplements along with allopathy medication, because that will help you to reduce the dependency on allopathic medication, right? So imagine you're taking allopathic medication, your blood sugar levels are 200, and if you're taking your Madhunashni also and your blood sugar levels are coming down to 160, at least you can reduce the dosage of allopathic medication. It's a much natural way to maintain your healthy blood sugar levels, right?
Yeah. The next question is, can a patient already taking insulin control his diabetes?
So if it is type 2 diabetes and the person is having taking insulin, definitely they should be adding the supplementation, because I have like strong testimonial. Person was 70 years old and he was on insulin. Now he's completely on medication. He has stopped his insulin.
Okay. Can you please describe type 1 and type 2 again?
So type 1 is basically from the birth itself. It works as an autoimmune. Your immunity itself eats your beta cells. Okay, destroys your beta cells, and beta cells only secrete insulin. So if the beta cells are only destroyed, there will be either no secretion of insulin or very less, which will not be able to meet up the glucose load that we take on a regular basis. That's why it needs to be taken. It needs to be met by taking insulin injections. Type 2 is a metabolic disorder. Here you need not to take insulin, or you have to take insulin very later when you're not able to manage the blood sugar levels only by taking medication. It can be better maintained by diet and lifestyle actually.
Okay. What is the, can you shed some light on the time protocol to be followed for the supplements?
Time protocol, that means, okay, so I'll just give like all plant protein powder, at least you should be giving 1 to 2 scoops per day, unless and until the person is having a kidney problem. Okay. Salmon omega, if the person is towards the obese side, definitely you can give 2. If the person is on the maintained weight side, you can start continue with 1 per day. Daily, as usual, it is 1 after breakfast. Type 1 is not reversible at all, sir.
Okay.
Okay, this is the three Madhunashni. Like Madhunashni, when you're suggesting, you have to be slightly be careful and educate the patient also, that you have to monitor your blood sugar levels. It should not suddenly drop down, right? So if the person is taking diabetic medication like in the morning, then try to give Madhunashni after lunch and after dinner. Okay, that way you can do. Fiber you can give 30 minutes before lunch and 30 minutes after dinner. So 30 minutes before lunch will help with the postprandial blood sugar levels, and 30 minutes after dinner will help with the fasting blood sugar levels. And ashwagandha anyway, it's like 1 tablet after dinner with half cup of warm milk.
Okay. Type 1 diabetic case, which supplements can they use?
See, there's no much use of supplements that you can give. It's just you can give maybe ashwagandha for the better sleep. You can give natural B. But Madhunashni, if you're trying to give, it's of no use to give it in type 1 diabetes. But yes, you can give other supplements like daily, like your ashwagandha, your natural B. All these can be given. But Madhunashni doesn't have a major role in type 1 diabetes.
Is glucosamine safe for diabetic patients?
See, if your blood sugar levels are absolutely within the range, glucosamine is actually safe for all the people whose blood sugar levels are within the range. Now imagine a blood sugar level is already 300, 400, 500. Then if you're giving glucosamine, that again is a glucose and amine compound only, uh, molecule only. So then if you're giving, it may affect the blood sugar levels. But if you're giving in a general person or to a person who is having maintained blood sugar levels, there's no problem at all.
Okay. Um, is there any circumstance where we have to increase the dosage of Madhunashni?
See, if a person is already taking medications and all, right? Again, when you're suggesting Madhunashni, the actual dosage is 2 per day only, because we are not treating here. We are just supporting the body to maintain healthy blood sugar levels after taking the allopathic medications also, right? So uh, mostly you try to give within the dosage only. If you're giving, like, you can maximum give 3 per day. That way you can give. If the blood sugar levels are around 300, 250, 280, till 300, you can give like 3 per day.
Okay, so we'll have one last question because we also have another event coming up. Um, can someone take coffee immediately after the supplements, or is it going to disturb the absorption?
Definitely try to avoid any kind of like caffeinated drinks just after food or just after supplements, because definitely we don't tell to take any kind of coffee after just after food also, because it hinders the absorption. Caffeine, tannin, this hinders the absorption of the nutrients.
Okay, so before we close up, just one more. Is there any time gap that we should give between the medicine and supplements?
So supplements, take it just after the food, because supplements has to be taken with the food. And medicine anyway, they tell that take it after 15 minutes of your food. So that way you can take.
Perfect. So with this, actually, we come to an end of today's event.